Hey, what's up guys? So, with Abyss Rising coming out relatively soon, the sneak peek just happened, I want to talk about these two archetypes, the Spellbooks and the Mermails, because these are probably going to be the most popular decks, I would say, that will be played in the meta and have the most potential, in my opinion, to, make a decent impact on the meta. Now, both these decks are pretty good, and first off, both these decks are not very budget because multiple secret rares are probably going to be required to essentially get full potential out of the decks. But if you're playing on dueling network, that's really cool. But first off, if you guys want to kind of see how the decks run, I'll put a link as well as in the description. You guys can check this out if you want to check out the Spellbooks, and there will be a link over here if you want to check out the Mermails. So, yeah. I will reveal which deck I think is actually better for personal preference. But yeah, let's talk about the Spellbooks first. And, what kind of makes the deck. So, basically, Spellbooks revolve around a High Priestess of Prophecy. She is a 2500 attacker that can be special summoned from your hand by revealing 3 Spellbooks from your hand, and also she has the effect once per turn, I can banish a Spellbook card to destroy 1 card on the field. So basically, if she survives for maybe three turns, basically you win that duel. Kind of similar to Hyperion. If Hyperion stays on the field for 3 turns, and you can use its effect 3 turns essentially, you basically win the game. But that said, the deck is a lot about adding cards from your deck to your hand. So that said, there's a card called Thunder King, and it's a pretty meta card, and a lot of people will be side decking this card, I would say, against the Spellbooks, and as well as, just in the main deck, Thunder King is just a good card all around. So that said, Thunder King can kind of hurt this deck a little bit. It'll slow it down. But there's a card called Temperance of Prophecy, which can just special summon High Priestess from your deck, and Thunder King cannot negate that. Just like Thunder King cannot negate Call of Haunted because you are special summoning a monster by another card's effect. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, I feel like the Spellbook archetype is pretty decent. There's a lot of slow advantages, and it takes a little bit if you're playing like the field spell, and as well if you're playing like it's a quick play. They changed the name on it. I forgot its name now, but it used to be Goth, the Spellbook Goth. It's a quick play. If you have 3 Spellbooks, you can banish 3 in your graveyard to just banish 1 card on the field as a quick play spell. That's pretty good. But yeah, it is a little bit slower depending on how you want to play the Spellbooks. The deck can actually play a little bit slow, and you can play a longer game, and you can get a lot more advantage off of it. But you can actually make the deck pretty fast if you're going to play like Temperance and Spellbook of Powers with Breakers. There's a lot of different ways to play the deck, which is pretty cool. I really feel like the deck really needs a better Dark Monster. They have Chaos Sorcerer for Spellcaster. If you were going to play, what is this card? Yeah, Justice of Prophecy, pretty decent card, but again, Thunder King will just be like, oh, it's cool, you can't add, so keep that in mind as well. So I really feel like the deck, it really excels at basically just getting out High Priestess and then, having her survive for multiple turns. There's also Spellbook of Life, which is an awesome card because you can just bring back, basically anything. And then if you get High Priestess of Prophecy Warning, it doesn't really matter. You can still Call of the Haunted her, Spellbook of Life her. Basically the deck is basically revolved around High Priestess of Prophecy. At least that's how I feel, at least. And I think that the deck is okay. It can't overextend. It does get punished for mistakes sometimes. But overall, I think the deck is pretty decent. But basically, Thunder King hurts it. And the thing is, against the side deck, if you throw in a Light Imprisoning Mirror and you ruin High Priestess' effect, they have Spellbook of Power to make her 35 for 1 turn, but realistically, that's really about it. I don't think the deck is too good in the game 2 and 3. Not nearly as good as Mermails can possibly be. But yeah, that said, I pretty much would say I covered the basics of Spellbooks. Basically it's High Priestess, have her survive for multiple turns, and then you win. Next up, the Mermails. Now, I really like this deck. I think if I was to choose one, I would choose the Mermails over the Spellbooks. If I had to play one, I really like this deck. Okay, the reason why I like this deck, it can main deck Skill Drain. It's not really affected by, Thunder King too much. You could just set this card face down, it dies. Bam, you get Abyss Megalo, and he's 24. You'd be like, oh, okay, see you later, Thunder King. And yeah, that's pretty good. As well as, you just summon Diva, and then, just go into a Catastor or something, and just be like, oh, it's cool, your Thunder King negates? Okay, I just use 1 Diva anyway, so it's totally fine in that aspect. Another thing with this deck is the card Abyss Megalo. We'll just call him the 2400 attacker because that's really what it comes down to. He's a secret rare. He's from the new set, Abyss Rising. But yeah, he's a 2400 beater. You can discard 2 water monsters to special summon him from your hand. So if you're playing Mermail Atlanteans, those cards that you discard will get their effects. But the Mermail has to be summoned first. Even if it gets negated, you'll still get your effects, but it just happens after. So basically what that means is if something like Thunder King is on the field, Thunder King also cannot negate the 2400 Mermail because it's just the way it's ruled. Yeah, which is kind of strange. But yeah, that said, even though you special summon from the hand, I thought he was inherent, but I don't know why Thunder King can't negate him. Maybe because it's, because it's in the middle of a chain. I don't know. But basically, you cannot Thunder King him, and that's what I really makes me think that, like, that's just so unfair. It's like, it's cool, I get a 2400 beat out, your Thunder King can't negate, and I get to pop 2. But yeah, keep in mind, if Thunder King's on the field, I don't think at the moment that you can actually add, even if you're popping Thunder King with the Atlantean's effects, you can't add because Thunder King is still technically on the field, and the destruction effects happen after your Mermail summon and then you add the card. Then the Mermail's effects happen, because, as you guys know, you have to finish resolving the summon of the 2400 beater secret rare. That's what I'm calling him, because his name is Mermail Abyss Megalo. You guys can look him up if you guys really want to check out his full effect. But then you basically get to add Depth Sphere, and Depth Sphere is a ultra rare card that basically lets you bring out Lind or another 2400 beater out. The thing that really makes this deck so good is you can overextend and not get punished for it, and that's really what makes the deck so much better. Again, you can play Skill Drain in the main deck, and Skill Drain shuts down a lot of different decks. Like windups, you throw Skill Drain against windups, ooh. Until they get MST, like, they can't do much. Like, it really hurts them a lot. But, yeah, that said, the deck can OTK really easy. If you guys want to check out the video over in the corner, you guys can just click it or visit the description box. But, yeah, the deck can OTK so easy. I mean, also, Mermail Abyss Megalo, the 2400 secret rare, he has another effect. If you tribute, I think it's just a water-type monster, he can attack twice. Like he has way too many effects. He's the new Machina Fortress of waters, basically, because he just has too many effects, and he's just too good. I think he's really good. And the deck has a lot of pluses. I mean, Salvage is a plus. Basically, Lind, when you creature swap, is technically kind of a plus. And I really like her because it's from anywhere on the field to the graveyard. But yeah, another thing, I think, did we talk about budget? Both these decks are not budget, by the way, if we didn't talk about that. Because if you were interested in playing either one of these decks, I'm trying to help you guys decide which deck you might want to play if you have the options of, maybe you want to, build either one of these. So yeah, both these decks are not budget. Personally, I like the Mermail archetype. I think it's good because at the moment, I really don't know what to side deck against that. I know making Absolute Zero or Catastor is pretty decent against the deck, but it doesn't hurt them to the point where, like, they can't play. Like, as far as, like, Dark Worlds, like, if you throw up D-Fissure, like, if they don't draw MSC, they can't really play. I can't really find a card that really hurts this deck, whereas Light and Prison Mirror, that hurts a lot of these spellbooks, because High Priestess of Prophecy is really what runs the deck, and if you flip up, a Light and Prison Mirror against them, that really does hurt them quite a bit. But keep in mind, though, I do want to mention that Breaker probably will be seeing some play in the spellbook deck, so be expected Breaker just to say, okay, see you later, Light and Prison Mirror. But yeah, that said, I feel like you can hurt the spellbook deck a lot more, especially if you're playing, maybe, if they're playing like Triple Temperance, maybe you can side deck Chain Disappearance, banish all of the Temperance of Prophecy. Pretty good stuff. But I feel like the Mermail deck is just way faster, and it has a lot of quick options. Like, if there's something that you need to get rid of on the field, like a Stardust or something, when you're looking at the spellbooks, it comes down to High Priest of Prophecy, and then attacking into Stardust, and that's not, like, that great. I feel like, basically, the thing that makes Hyperion just so much better is because you can run over Stardust and then pop in main phase too. I mean, yeah, you can technically activate Spellbook of Power, but that requires you to have more cards in your hand. And Mermails, you got Stardust out, I really don't care too much, because I could just use a 1 card to get rid of your Stardust, if that makes sense, because I can just go into a, I can go, Diva into something else, and then I can, bounce back for Mermail. Like, the deck has so many, like, options, and that's why I think the Mermail archetype, to me personally, I feel it's just a more well-rounded archetype, because, I mean, this deck, the Spellbooks, it's pretty linear. I mean, it's High Priestess, pop multiple turns, and you win. And the Mermails, it's like, you have options to OTK, and you can play it, like, slow, too. But the options to OTK are so much more relevant in Mermails, I feel, than Spellbooks. But if you guys know any combos, I would say, in the Spellbooks that you can OTK with, I know you could be like, oh, triple Spellbook, High Priest of Prophecy, normal summon something, and yeah, I guess you can OTK like that. But then, you're getting so, like, you're overextending, essentially. Whereas with Mermails, I can discard to pop 2, and then if I discard another 2, I can search out 2 more. Like, if I discard Water Monster's effects, I'll get those effects. And that's what I really feel like makes the Mermail archetype just better, because again, you can just, like, search out for so much. Like, there's so many things that you can do in the Mermail archetype. That's why I just think it's better. But yeah, if you guys know what to actually side deck against this, let me know in the comment section below, because I really don't know what to side deck against this. I was thinking Tiger King, because Tiger King wrecks all, like, the low attackers, so that could be an option as well. But I really feel like this card it's so good. Like, I love just giving them this card and attacking into it. Like, I like to go, summon my land, okay, creature swap, okay, you can have it. It's cool, I'll take your Thunder King, attack over it. And then I get a 24 beater out. It's just like, there's just so much things that you can do in this deck. And, like, you can exceed, you can synchro, you can go for Gotchi and play it slow, like Diva, Gotchi. Like, there's just too many options. I like decks that have options, essentially. But I hope this helps you guys out as far as decide what deck that you want to look into playing, as well as, you can check out the 2 duels that I have in the annotations again. So you can get a better idea of kind of how the decks run, basically, because I think they're both pretty good decks, and I think that they will both be, seen in the meta. I think that both these decks do have potential to top. They're definitely, like, decent decks. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and again, if you know how to side deck against the Mermails, please let me know, because I feel really lost when I look at the Mermails. I'm like, what do I side? Like, I can't think of anything. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.